Discover the story of Tamar, a woman marked by extraordinary events and tragic marriages. Discover the mysteries behind each of Tamar's husbands' unexpected fates. Today we will explore the fascinating story of Tamar, a woman whose journey is full of meanings and twists. Get ready to discover the secrets behind tragic marriages and the choices that shape their destiny. In Part 1, we enter the historical context of Tamar, a woman whose life is intertwined with the lineage of Judah, son of Jacob. The importance of Judah in the genealogy is evidenced by the divine promise made to Jacob, which points to royal ancestry and the coming of a special leader. As Jacob's fourth son by Leah, Judah plays a prominent role in biblical history, as he is the ancestor of the royal line, including King David and the promised Messiah. The prophecy about Judah, recorded in Genesis 4:19-10, highlights its relevance in the trajectory of the people of Israel and foreshadows the arrival of the supreme leader. Thus, when we delve into this ancestral and prophetic context, we better understand the scenario in which Tamar emerges as a fundamental character in the biblical narrative. In Part 2, we delve deeper into Tamar's life after the death of her first husband. Faced with early widowhood, Tamar finds herself immersed in deep mourning and in a challenging situation. Society at the time placed pressures and expectations on widowed women, especially when it came to preserving their lineage and financial security. Judah, aware of these cultural norms, instructs his second son Onan to fulfill the duty of the levirate by marrying Tamar. However, Onan's selfish intentions are revealed when he refuses to produce offspring for his deceased brother. His disrespectful attitude and greed demonstrate a lack of commitment to family and divine values. Onan's refusal to fulfill the levirate not only triggers tragic consequences for himself, but also throws Tamar into a cycle of suffering and uncertainty. Thus we are confronted with the complexities of family relationships and the tensions between compliance with social customs and true divine justice in Tamar's story. In Part 3, after the death of her first two husbands, Tamar finds herself faced with a distressing dilemma. Judah, aware of the practice of levirate and the need to ensure the continuity of the family lineage, promises to offer his third son, Shelah, as a husband to Tamar. However, time passes and Judah repeatedly postpones the fulfillment of this promise. Judah's hesitation to hand over Shelah to marry Tamar reveals not only his reluctance to comply with established cultural traditions, but also his lack of consideration for Tamar's rights and needs. Meanwhile, Tamar patiently awaits the fulfillment of the promise made by her father-in-law, facing loneliness and uncertainty about her future. The absence of descendants not only represents a gap in the family lineage, but also exposes Tamar to vulnerability in the face of life's uncertainties. Thus, we are confronted with the challenges facing Tamar as she awaits the fulfillment of the levirate promise and deals with the consequences of Judah's decisions. In Part 4, after the death of her first two husbands, Tamar finds herself in a moment of deep reflection and loneliness. The absence of offspring and Judah's hesitation to fulfill the levirate promise throw Tamar into a state of uncertainty and vulnerability. Surrounded by painful memories and unmet expectations, Tamar faces the weight of tradition and social conventions that shape her destiny. Judah's reluctance to honor his commitment to Tamar reveals not only his indecision, but also his lack of empathy and responsibility towards her. In this context of helplessness and distressing waiting, Tamar demonstrates a silent resilience that echoes through time, becoming an example of strength in the face of life's adversities. In Part 5, we delve into the intricate details of Tamar's ingenious plan to secure her descendants and assert her rights in the face of Judah's hesitation. Aware of the importance of lineage and determined to secure her place in history, Tamar decides to adopt a cunning and courageous strategy. Upon realizing that Judah would be absent from an event with his sheep, Tamar sees this as a unique opportunity to put her plan into practice. With skill and insight, she disguises herself as a prostitute, covering her face so as not to be recognized, and strategically positions herself in Judah's path. This meticulous choice reveals not only Tamar's deep knowledge of Judah's habits, but also her determination to achieve her goals. When approaching Judah in this unexpected context, Tamar begins a subtle negotiation to guarantee compensation for the relationship they would have. Even without financial resources at the moment, she ingeniously demands a pledge that ensures Judah's fulfillment of the promise of payment. Thus, by receiving from the patriarch a seal, a cord, and a staff as a guarantee of payment for the relationship, Tamar not only demonstrates her intelligence and perspicacity, but also reinforces her right to the continuity of the family lineage. These symbolic objects not only represent the transaction between Tamar and Judah, but also become tangible evidence of the encounter that will shape the surprising outcome of this twisting story. In Part 6, after Tamar's pregnancy becomes evident, the news reaches Judah's ears, awakening in him a mixture of emotions and questions. Initially overcome by indignation and accusation, Judah assumes that Tamar has engaged in illicit relations, misinterpreting the situation as an act of prostitution. His impulsive reaction reflects not only a lack of understanding of events, but also reveals his willingness to judge hastily. Judah's stern order that Tamar be taken away and burned demonstrates the seriousness with which he views the young widow's supposed immoral behavior. However, faced with the pressure of the moment and the urgency to clarify the truth, Tamar reveals the objects received from Judah during the meeting as proof of his paternity. The seal, the cord, and the staff function as material witnesses of the encounter between them, leading Judah to recognize his responsibility in the situation. Upon realizing the truth behind the objects given to Tamar as a pledge, Judah is confronted with his own failures and hesitations in fulfilling the promise of the leveret. Her confession not only reveals Tamar's recognition of her righteousness, but also highlights the importance of honesty and humility in the face of unexpected circumstances. Thus, at this crucial moment in the narrative, we are confronted with the nuances of truth and the consequences of hasty choices based on superficial judgments. In Part 7, after Tamar's pregnancy becomes evident, unexpected complications arise during the birth of the twins. While the midwife watches the birth of the babies, a surprising and symbolic event occurs. Tamar's first child reaches out and is reached by the midwife, who places a red ribbon on his wrist as a sign of birthright. However, unexpectedly, the baby retreats, and his brother ends up being born first. This unique and intriguing moment reveals an inversion in the natural order of things, where the youngest seemingly prevails over the oldest. The son born first is called Perez, whose name means gap or rupture, suggesting a break with traditional expectations and an opening to new possibilities. This reversal in birth order not only highlights the unpredictability of divine designs, but also resonates with other biblical narratives that emphasize the importance of overcoming established conventions. Thus, upon witnessing this emblematic moment in the birth of Tamar's twins, we are led to reflect on the mysteries of divine providence and the surprising twists and turns that mark the trajectory of this remarkable woman. In Part 8, we explore Tamar's resilience and determination in the face of the challenges and injustices she faced throughout her life. Even after being widowed twice and having to deal with Judah's hesitation and failure to fulfill promises, Tamar did not let herself be discouraged. His inner strength and courage in facing adversity reveal not only his determination to secure his rights, but also his unshakable faith in divine justice. By persevering in the face of difficulties and remaining firm in her purposes, Tamar stands out as an example of a strong and resilient woman in the Scriptures. His story teaches us the importance of persistence, trust in God, and the search for justice, even in the most difficult times. Thus, as we reflect on Tamar's journey We are inspired to follow her example of overcoming an unshakable faith in the face of life's adversities. In Part 9, we dive deeper into the figure of Tamar as an example of resilience and wisdom in Scripture. Her story not only reveals her inner strength and courage in the face of adversity, but also highlights her strategic intelligence and her determination to guarantee her rights. Tamar stands out as a woman whose path is marked by surprising twists and turns and courageous choices that shape not only her destiny, but also the course of the royal lineage. His cunning in devising an ingenious plan to ensure his descendants and assert his rights in the face of human injustices demonstrates not only his perspicacity, but also his unshakable faith in divine justice. By facing challenges with resilience and determination, Tamar becomes a timeless example of overcoming and trusting in God. His story echoes through the ages as a testimony to the importance of faith, persistence, and courage in the face of life's adversities. As we conclude this fascinating journey through Tamar's story, we are led to reflect on the complexity of the human condition and the unpredictability of divine designs. Tamar's journey teaches us valuable lessons about resilience, courage, and unshakable faith in the face of adversity. His determination to guarantee his rights, his astuteness in devising ingenious strategies, and his trust in divine justice are sources of inspiration for all of us. Furthermore, Tamar's story invites us to question established social norms and seek true justice, even when faced with seemingly insurmountable challenges. May Tamar's example echo in our hearts as a reminder of the importance of remaining firm in our faith, even in the face of the most difficult circumstances. May we learn from your resilience and wisdom, becoming agents of transformation in our own journeys. May Tamar's story inspire us to face obstacles with courage, confidence, and determination. May we apply the teachings of this timeless narrative in our daily lives, always seeking to honor the deepest values that govern our existence. Tamar's story is more than a biblical account. It is a powerful testimony to the strength of the human spirit in the face of adversity and the importance of unshakable faith in the divine plan. If you were moved by this story full of biblical teachings, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more inspiring content. Leave your impressions of Tamar's extraordinary journey in the comments. Thank you for following along on this incredible journey through the biblical story of Tamar. May your resilience inspire our hearts and strengthen our faith. Until the next video, stay with God.